students, let us continue chapter 3 Metals and Non-Metals. Today, we are going to discuss our next topic occurrence of metals. So, students, the Earth's crust is the major source of metals. Seawater also contains some soluble salts such as sodium chloride, magnesium chloride, etc. The elements or compounds which occur naturally in the Earth's crust are known as minerals. We have discussed this. At some places, minerals contain a very high percentage of a particular metal, and the metal can be profitably extracted from it. These minerals are known as ores. Let us discuss this in detail. Now, extraction of metals. So, we have learned about the reactivity series of metals. Having this knowledge, we can easily understand how a metal is extracted from its ore. Ore we have discussed just above. Some metals are found in the earth's crust in the free state. Some are found in the form of their compounds, while the metals at the bottom of the activity series are least reactive, like gold, silver, and lead, and mercury, etc. They are often found in a free state because they do not react with anyone easily. For example, gold, silver, platinum, copper, they all are found in free state. Copper and silver are also found in the combined state as their sulfide or oxide ores. The metals at the top of the activity series like potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, aluminium are so reactive that they are never found in nature as free elements. The metals in the middle of the activity series like zinc, iron, lead, etc. are moderately reactive. They are found in the earth's crust mainly as oxides, sulfides, or carbonates. Now we'll find that the ores of many metals are oxides. This is because oxygen is a very reactive element and is very abundant on the earth. Thus, on the basis of reactivity, we can group the metals into the following three categories. Very first, metals of low reactivity. Second, metals of medium reactivity. And the third one, metals of high reactivity, as shown in this chart. Different techniques are to be used for obtaining the metals falling in each category. Several steps are involved in the extraction of pure metal from their ores. A summary of these steps is given in this chart. Each step is explained in details in the following section. Now, enrichment of ores. Ores mined from the earth are usually contaminated with large amount of impurities such as soil, sand, etc., known as gangue. The impurities must be removed from the ore prior to the extraction of the metal. So the processes used for removing the gangue from the ore are based on differences between the physical or chemical properties of the gangue and the ore. So different separation techniques are accordingly employed. The very first part, extracting metals low in the activity series. Metals low in the activity series are very unreactive. We have discussed this just above. The oxides of these metals can be reduced to metals by heating alone. For example, Cinnabar, HGS, Cinnabar. Stands for mercury and S is for sulfide. So, is an ore of mercury. When it is heated in air, it is first converted into mercuric oxide, HgO. Then mercuric oxide is reduced to mercury on further heating, and hence we obtain the mercury. Let us discuss the reaction. Twice HgS, that is ore of mercury, plus reaction of oxygen, that is 3 molecules of oxygen, 3O2, gives twice HgO, oxide of mercury, plus sulfur dioxide, twice SO2, and again HgO, oxide of mercury, again heated, then it produces separate mercury that is twice Hg plus release of oxygen. Similarly, copper, which is found as copper sulfide Cu2s in nature, can be obtained from its ore by just heating in the air. Again, the reaction twice Cu2s plus 3 molecules of oxygen gives twice Cu2O. It means oxides of copper plus release of sulfur dioxide, twice SO2. Then again oxides of copper on reacting with copper sulfide, twice Cu2O plus twice Cu2S gives separate copper plus sulfur dioxide. Now second part, extracting metals in the middle of the activity series. The metals in the middle of the activity series such as iron, zinc, lead, copper are moderately reactive. These are usually present as sulfides or carbonates in nature. It is easier to obtain a metal from its oxide as compared to its sulfides and carbonates. Therefore, prior to reduction, the metal sulfides and carbonates must be converted into metal oxides. The sulfide ores are converted into oxides by heating strongly in the presence of excessive air. This process is known as roasting. The carbonate ore are changed into oxides by heating strongly in limited air. This process is known as calcination. Remember, these two methods are very important, roasting and calcination. Roasting in presence of excessive air and calcination in presence of limited air. The chemical reaction that takes place during roasting and calcination of zinc ores can be shown as follows. We have the reaction first for roasting. Zinc sulfide ZnS plus oxygen 3O2 gives twice ZnO zinc oxide plus sulfur dioxide. And in calcination, zinc carbonate ZnCO3 on heating gives zinc oxide ZnO plus carbon dioxide. Now we obtained oxides of zinc, the middle order metal. The metal oxides are then reduced to the corresponding metals by using suitable reducing agents like carbon. For example, when zinc oxide is heated with carbon, it is reduced to metallic zinc only. The fresh zinc we obtained. ZnO plus carbon C gives Zn plus carbon monoxide. We have already familiar with the process of oxidation and reduction in small classes. And in first chapter we have also discussed this. So obtaining metals from their compounds is also a reduction process. Besides using carbon or coke to reduce metal oxides to metal, sometimes displacement reactions can also be used. The highly reactive metals such as sodium, calcium, aluminium, etc. are used as reducing agents because they can displace metals of lower reactivity from their compounds. For example, when manganese dioxide is heated with aluminium powder, the following reaction takes place. Thrice MnO2 plus 4 atoms of aluminium gives thrice Mn plus twice Al2O3 plus heat. It means highly reactive elements displaces the less reactive element. One of the example of displacement reaction where aluminium is displacing manganese. So, these displacement reactions are highly exothermic. The amount of heat evolved is so large that the metals are produced in the molten state. In fact, the reaction of iron oxide Fe2O3 with aluminium is used to join railway tracks or cracked machine parts, and this reaction is known as the Thermit reaction. Let us discuss the reaction. Fe2O3 plus 2 atoms of aluminium gives twice Fe plus Al2O3. Here plus heat. Here aluminium is highly reactive and iron is less reactive. That's why displacement takes place. Now the last part, extracting metals towards the top of the activity series. The metals high up in the reactivity series are very reactive. for example sodium, potassium, they cannot be obtained from their compounds by heating with carbon. For example, carbon cannot reduce the oxides of sodium, magnesium, calcium, aluminium, etc. to the respective metals. This is because these metals have more affinity for oxygen than carbon. These metals are obtained by electrolytic reduction. For example, sodium, magnesium, and calcium are obtained by the electrolysis of their molten chlorides. The metals are deposited at the cathode. We know that the cathode and anode in the electrolytic series deposited at the cathode, the negatively charged electrode we can say, whereas the chlorine, which is negatively charged, is liberated at the anode, the positively charged electrode. And the reactions are definitely at cathode there will be Na plus electron gives Na, and at anode Cl minus plus Cl2 gives twice electrons. Similarly, aluminium is obtained by the electrolytic reduction of aluminium oxides. So these are the extracting process of the three parts. Students, I hope you understood this topic. Thank you for listening.